So the Canon M50, which I have right here, and the Canon M6 Mark II, which I'm filming on right here, are very similar cameras, but they also have a lot of differences. So in today's video, I'm going to be comparing some of the differences and some of the similarities between these two cameras, which will hopefully help you make a choice depending on which one you're looking to buy. Let's roll the intro. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. If we're just meeting, it's nice to meet you. My name is Connor Wells. I am a photographer, videographer and podcast producer, and I make videos around those three subjects every single week. So if that's something that you're into, please do consider subscribing. Now, if you're a subscriber of the channel for a while, you'll know that for the last two and a half years, I've been filming every single video on the Canon M50. I love this camera, it's a great camera, and it's got some amazing features on it. And when you're considering the price of this camera, you get a whole lot of bang for your buck. But in the last few months, I started to outgrow this camera. You know, I was finding a few things quite difficult from getting from A to B when it came to doing actual shoots with this camera and just sitting down and making my own videos. I felt that the process could be a little bit simpler and a lot easier and a bit more user-friendly, which is why last week I upgraded to the Canon M6 Mark II, which I'm currently filming on right now. If you'd like to see the unboxing process of that and my initial first thoughts, you can view that right up there in the card, preferably after this video though. So like I said at the intro, I'm going to be talking about some of the similarities and some of the differences between these two cameras. Let's get into it. So at the heart of every camera lies the sensor, which is this lovely little thing that you do not ever want to touch with your fingers right here. And that's where the first difference lies. The Canon M50 has a 24.1 megapixel sensor. So it's very, very good for low light photography. Some people say it isn't. I beg to differ. The low light photography that I've got using this camera when shooting, for example, live music, as you can see by these shots here, are really, really good quality. Whereas when you compare that to the Canon M6 Mark II, this camera is fitted with a 32.5 megapixel photo. So you can blow these pictures up a lot more. The image sizes are a lot bigger as well, resolution wise. You probably won't notice much of a difference unless you're really pixel peeping, but the Canon M6 Mark II allows you to go a little bit more extreme with the cropping when it comes into post-production and editing. They also share the same Digic 8 processor. So that's our first difference. Now, most modern mirrorless cameras are fitted with this, an EVF, and what's that? An electronic viewfinder. So you might find it quite odd that the Canon M6 Mark II doesn't actually have one, and you have to buy it separately. The Canon M50 is fitted with an electronic viewfinder, which is OLED screen, and I found it quite useful. It's very good. But to be honest, I didn't really use it too much. Only occasionally, if there was like bright light and, you know, I didn't want to squint, and I'd just put it right up to my face there to block out the sunlight going into my eyes. I wouldn't actually find myself using it that often. I've been out in the field with a couple of shoots using the Canon M6 Mark II, and I haven't found it a problem not having an EVF. Now, both the Canon M6 Mark II and the Canon M50 are fitted with a 3-inch LCD touchscreen, but the screen is quite different when you compare them both. Let's start with the Canon M50. The Canon M50 is fitted with an articulating LCD screen, which means it can flip out, it can turn out towards you, it flips away from the camera itself. So if you're vlogging, it is perfect for vlogging. You know, you can see yourself. That's one thing I found really helpful. When it came to recording my videos in 4K. I'll get onto the 4K very soon, so stick around. I could see myself, I could monitor what I was watching, I could see, make sure I was all framed up, I'll make sure I was in focus. Now the Canon M6 Mark II, as you can see, has a flip up screen. It doesn't flip out at all, it flips up, which can be quite problematic when used in certain situations. Now, if you want to mount a microphone onto the top of the Canon M6 Mark II and have the flip up screen, you are going to run into some problems because it won't flip up all the way and you won't be able to monitor yourself, which is why I bought a relocation mount from Small Rig so I can move the microphone, hot shoe mount, cold shoe mount, I never really know. It basically allows you to flip up the screen so you can see yourself without anything getting in the way. Now, which one do I prefer? Now, I do like the flip out screen, but you know, one knock and that could take it off of its hinges. That scares me to death. I wouldn't want that, but it is quite handy. I've always used cameras with flip out screens, so it's going to be quite an adjustment using one that's a flip up screen. You know, I've got a monitor mounted to the Canon M6 Mark II right now and I'm looking at it, whereas it looks a little bit more natural looking up rather than looking to the side. I don't know what I'm looking at right now, I just guess my light. where the LCD screen would be on the Canon M50, but I'll let you know in the comments which one I prefer. Now, autofocus. I could not use a camera without autofocus, and that's where these two cameras absolutely excel. They are both fitted with Canon's dual pixel autofocus, which is fantastic. But the Canon M6, I'd say, takes another point. Not that we're really scoring points in this video, but the Canon M6 Mark II's autofocus is a little bit more advanced than the Canon M50's, and I'll tell you why. Now, with the Canon M50, when you're filming with autofocus on, you get point autofocus tracking, but you get face detection, which is great. But with the Canon M6 Mark II, you get face and eye detection as well. So it's currently tracking my eye right now, which is fantastic. So I can move wherever I want, and it's following my eye, which is great. And if I block the eye that it's currently tracking, which right now, it'll basically switch to the other eye. It's fantastic, love it. You also get this when filming in 4K as well, which is brilliant. You get full autofocus in 4K. And that's where the Canon M50 loses a few points there. Again, we're still not really scoring with points, but you lose the autofocus. You lose the dual pixel autofocus when you're filming in 4K. It basically switches to a contrast-based autofocus, which is not reliable, and it hunts for focus. It's not very good for low light either. So when filming in 4K on the Canon M50, it's not the best. You really have to rely on manual focus. Now let's continue talking about these two cameras' 4K filming capabilities. The Canon M50 may have been Canon's first mirrorless camera to feature 4K filming, but it came with a couple of big compromises. Mainly the 1.7 times crop when filming in 4K, combined with the crop sensor of APS-C sensor, it zooms in so much. You had to move your camera way back when filming in 4K, or use a wide angle lens, which, you know, is not very user friendly at all. But again, like mentioned before, you lose the dual pixel autofocus. It switches to that contrast based one. It's not reliable whatsoever. When I was filming my YouTube videos using the Canon M50, which is pretty much all the videos on this channel, I like to film in 4K. 4K is the way forward, and eventually 8K, 12K, and continue. But it was such a challenge. I had to switch it into manual focus. I was constantly going back behind the camera, back down here, switch it and adjust it, and I'd have to reach forward because, you know, you'd have to move the camera way back. It just wasn't a good experience. Now, the Canon M6 Mark II. It is such a pleasant experience when filming in 4K. You get the full width of the sensor, you get the eye tracking as well. It is fantastic. Now, continuing with the 4K filming, the Canon M50 can film up to 24 frames a second in 4K if you want to go through the pain of filming in 4K on this camera. It also does 60 frames a second, 30 frames a second, and 24 frames a second in full HD. Now, if you want sort of super slow motion and 120 frames a second, that comes at a cost. You've got to downgrade your footage and switch it to 720p. Who films in 720p these days? It just baffles me. I don't even think cameras should be fitted with 720p anymore. It's a complete waste of time. Now, moving on to the Canon M6 Mark II, with the 4K filming, you get 30 frames a second and, thank the Lord, 24 frames a second. They added it in after a software update. I have no idea why Canon decided not to include 24 frames per second right out of the box. Very strange decision. Continuing on, you get 60 frames a second, 30 frames a second, and 24 in full HD as well. And you also get 120 frames a second in full HD. But you do lose the sound, which, to be fair, a lot of people complain about it. I don't really care because I'm usually putting music and, you know, the sound doesn't matter anyway for me, but you lose the autofocus. Now, I've been so used to filming without autofocus with the Canon M50 in 4K, using manual focus, using it handheld on a gimbal and stuff, that the lack of autofocus in 120 frames a second doesn't bother me too much. So, you know, that's just me personally. But if you do need autofocus when filming in 120 frames a second, yeah, I may be able to understand your frustration. But that's just something to remember there. Now, I've not really spoken about some photo aspects of this camera. Now, the Canon M50, when shooting in continuous mode, can shoot 10 frames a second if you've got a nice fast SD card, which is great. The Canon M6 Mark II can do 14 frames a second, which is really cool. So if you're shooting something nice and fast, like sports or cars, or I don't know, rugby, or something fast, I don't really do too much exercise. But when you are shooting with 10 frames a second on this, it will basically only autofocus on the first shot. it won't continuously autofocus, whereas the Canon M6 Mark II will continuously autofocus each shot is taken, and it also does eye autofocus again, which is fantastic. If you want eye autofocus on the Canon M50, it will be in one shot mode only. The Canon M6 Mark II also supports UHS-2 SD cards. I don't currently have any of them yet. I will be getting some in the near future, so I'm very much excited to see how the camera's buffer handles with those new SD cards, because at the moment all I'm shooting with, I don't have any in this camera right now, is SanDisk 120 gig Extreme Pro. They're great SD cards, nice and fast, brilliant for 4K, but I am looking forward to trying the UHS-2 SD cards. Now, in conclusion of these two cameras, the Canon M50 and the Canon M6 Mark II, although it's not flagship mirrorless cameras, these two cameras are very great cameras. They're very capable and have a lot of features in comparison to each other. Personally, if you're looking to shoot video, I highly recommend choosing the Canon M6 Mark II. You get 4K 30 frames a second and 24, you get 120 frames a second in full HD, and you get great autofocus and full use of the sensor when filming in 4K. The Canon M50 I will probably be using a lot more for stills and a second camera, like a B camera for now. It's a very great camera, and for the price you're paying, you know, here in the UK, a Canon M50 with a kit lens is probably around sort of £500–600. It's great value for money for the features, but personally for my needs I'm going to be sticking with the Canon M6 Mark II. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video right over there.